What's dudes? So today, I thought I would go ahead and make a little video about my bike. It's gonna be sort of a video on the bike and about like beginner bikes in general. Like, you know, is this a good beginner bike? Is the SV650 a decent beginner bike? What's my opinion on what bike you should start off on? Just an opinion on beginner bikes coming from a newer rider who's only been on the road on two wheels for about 4 months. So, from a beginner's perspective, I'm gonna be talking about whether this is, you know, a good beginner bike. Just basically giving my opinion on the whole matter. So today we're taking a little. Oh, the sap will rise again, guys. Today we're taking this road here. It's a really nice little country road. Not too twisty, but pretty straight. Got a lot of little straights on it you can ball out, and just a pretty road in general. So, do I think the SV650 is a good beginner bike? Yes, yes, and yes. I think it's a wonderful beginner bike. But first, let me go ahead and give you my opinion on just beginner bikes in general and what I think you should be starting out on in your current situation. And what I mean by that is that if money is no obstacle, then I would highly recommend that you go ahead and start on a 250. Like a little Ninja 250 or a Rebel 250, you know, whatever your preference is, whether you want to get into sport bike riding, whether you want to do cruiser riding, just take into account what kind of riding you plan on doing and get yourself a 250 that matches up with that kind of riding. Now that's if money is no obstacle. And the reason I say that is because a 250, Ninja 250, Rebel 250, whatever it is, you're going to grow out of it. I can promise you that. You're going to grow out of it within 4 or 5 months, maybe even sooner, depending on how fast you're progressing in your riding skills. And you're really just going to want something a little bit faster, a little bit more powerful, and it's just going to be a little bit more fun for you. But like I said, if money is no obstacle, go ahead and start on a 250. Because if you grow out of it in 4 or 5 months, no big deal. You can just get a new bike. And then you might want to upgrade to something like an SV650, or maybe even like a 600cc Super Sport, like a CBR 600 or R6 or something, depending on your riding preferences, how comfortable you feel on that 250, and how long you've been riding that 250. Alright, so with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and get into whether or not the SV650 is a good beginner bike. Because if you're like me, money is a huge object. Like, you're not going to do something if you can't afford it. And odds are, if it's something big like getting into motorcycling, which is going to cost you at least $5,000, you know, hands down, that's like the minimum price it's going to cost you to get into motorcycling, to buy up all your gear, to get everything you need, get your bike, get it insured, get it tagged. I mean, you have to think about all of those things when you're getting a bike. But for me, since money was an object, I went ahead and went with the SV650. I wanted to go with the 650 V-twin because it seemed like a really good happy medium. Like, you weren't going to kill yourself because you're not starting on the 600, and you're not going to, you know, feel like you're pushed to really just go and like get that super hard acceleration. But at the same time, the 650 is a lot more powerful than the 250, but not quite as powerful as the 600. It really has helped me out starting on a 650 simply because it's given me a taste of what some of the bigger bikes will do, but it's also kept me within my limits. And a 650 is more than enough power to go out and have fun on. I mean, you can really get down on this thing. Like, let me show you. Especially off of those starts. I know the SV650 is really torquey in first gear. That's why I can pop up those wheelies, those shitty little wheelies that you guys like so much. But yeah, it's just it's really just a matter of personal preference and of thinking about, you know, what's my comfort level with this. Am I going to be comfortable riding on a 600? Am I going to be more comfortable if I start off on a 250 and then upgrade to something better? Am I going to be more comfortable to start off on a 650 and keep it for a little while, or maybe go ahead and upgrade to something better anyway? Okay, but now more about my specific bike, more about my SV650. What do I think of it? I mean, I started out on this bike. This is my first bike. So, you know, just what do I think of the SV650? Is it a good beginner bike? Do I like it? Do I think it's too powerful? Do I think it's, you know, not powerful enough? So here's my opinion. I think the SV650 is an absolutely perfect bike for all beginners. If you are thinking about getting an SV650 for your first bike, I wouldn't have anything against you for it. I think it's a really great bike. I don't think you're going to kill yourself on it. I don't think it's going to push you to do anything that's out of your limits, as long as you have the right mindset going into it. This thing is definitely powerful enough to keep you having fun for a long enough time, and it's a really great bike to get used to being on two wheels on. Now, I'm not going to bash, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Cycle Cruiser. I'm sure you have. I'm not going to bash Cycle Cruiser on what he said about starting off on a moped. I think I believe that's what he said. He said, you know, get yourself a moped to get used to riding on two wheels first. And I don't think that's a terrible idea, but again, if money is no object. I knew that upgrading to another bike would be a pretty big ordeal for me, since money is a huge object for me, but I also wanted something that wasn't going to bore me after a couple months. And so far, I'm still having a lot of fun on the SV, and I've been on it for 4 months now. Now, do I think you should go ahead and jump the gun and start on a 600 Super Sport? It's a really tough question for me to answer, honestly, because I don't know you. I don't know your personal, you know, assessment of risk, I guess you could say. I think that a lot of people could theoretically start out on a 600 and be completely fine. I mean, shit, you look at guys like Knight Rider, who started out on a fucking Hayabusa, and he's just killing it. I mean, he's doing pretty well. I think it really just depends on the person, and you know, respecting the power of your motorcycle and not allowing it to push you to do things that you aren't necessarily comfortable doing and go out of your limits. So that's why I really think the SV650 is a great beginner bike. I think it's probably one of the better beginner bikes out there. I mean, it's a great bang for the buck. You can find them, you know, on Craigslist all the time. There's people selling SV650s. They're very high in demand almost all of the time. I mean, they hold their value really well from what I've heard, and I'm probably gonna get ready to sell mine here around 10 or 11,000 miles, and probably upgrade to a 600, honestly. You know, I just feel like it's almost about that time for me. But I still want to get a little bit more experience on the road. Probably ride it for a couple more months before I really dive in and make that commitment. Another really great reason to get an SV650 for your first bike is that they're very cheap and they're very easy to maintain. They're easy to work on too. I mean, it's depending on what model you get, what year you get. I know mine, pretty easy to work on. I mean, I was able to you know, dismantle it without really much of a knowledge about mechanics or anything like that. I didn't have any mechanical knowledge when I went to try and fix my fuel pump, which is probably why I wasn't successful. But regardless, I was able to get the bike apart enough to get to the fuel pump all by myself. And so in that respect, yeah, I think it's a pretty easy bike to work on if you're just starting to work on your bike, you know, and get some of those mods in there. Alright, we've reached the end of the road here, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and try to turn around. Anything up past this way is just going to be kind of like ghetto country roads, but this is a good country road, so I like to ride it a lot. In conclusion, I really just think that the SV650 is a great bike. It's the only bike that I have, you know, the experience with to really give my opinion on. And after about 4 months of riding it, getting to know the bike, getting to see how it performs, and just getting comfortable on it, I think it's an absolutely wonderful bike for anybody to start out on. I don't think it's unmanageable by any stretch of the imagination. Keep in mind, all of this is just my opinion. It could be completely different for you, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt, and you know, don't just be like, oh well, Jay Metropolis said that I should get this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. Do a lot of research, guys. Really do your research. I mean, you want to have the knowledge before you go in and make a purchase like this, because it is a big commitment. Alright guys, well, if you like this video, I would love if you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to comment, like, rate, do all that fun shit that YouTube allows you to do. and I will keep making content for you guys so long as you keep watching it, keep on liking those videos. Let's watch ourselves grow together, because I would love this channel to grow and just watch you guys help me out over the moon here. That would just put me in such a good mood. That would make your whole trip Metropolis so damn happy. Oh. I really hope this helped you guys out in maybe determining what bike you are going to get, what bike you think you want to get, and maybe even gave you some new ideas. Well guys, I'm gonna go hit these twisties and have me a damn good day. So I hope you guys have a real good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!